So hello and welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday night and we have an extra special interview for you. If you have been following our Wednesday episodes of The Biggest Transformation, you will know that we just wrapped season 11 of The Biggest Transformation. And we had an amazing cast of women that just kicked butt. They lost a bunch of weight. They were all losers. They were all losers in the best way possible. They lost a bunch of fluff that they will never find again. And last Wednesday, we wrapped that season, and tonight we have a very special episode. You are going to get to hear from the winner of season 11, Miss Katy, and she's going to be, what do they say, spilling all the tea. She's going to be dropping all the details, telling you how she did it, what she did. And so make sure, if you have not, check out their season's episodes. They air every Wednesday. There's an entire playlist. You can watch their journey from start to finish. If you want to be inspired, if you want to smile, if you want to laugh, if you want to cry, if you want to be motivated to get your booty off the couch and start hitting your weight loss goals, you've got to go watch their season. And so without further ado, help me welcome to the channel, Miss Katy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Do I call you winner or loser?
Winner for sure. Winner.
Because to win, you were the biggest loser, which is
Yes.
like awesome.
Which my boys love that.
So Katy is our season 11 winner. After 12 weeks, she wound up on top. And, some of those girls, man, coming down to the wire, they were giving you a run for your money. They weren't just going to let you walk away with it, were they?
No, they were not. That last week I was so scared.
And so I have your numbers here. So you came into the program at 207.6 pounds, and your final weigh-in, you were at 178 pounds. So that's like 30 pounds, girlfriend. You
Yes.
shed off of your body in 12 weeks.
That's incredible. Like, it blows my mind. I remember thinking, like, I would be so happy if I lost 8 pounds this first month. And I lost 20 pounds in the first month. Like, mind blowing.
So okay. So I want to back up a little bit, because people are watching, and we all have heard the statistics that over 70% of people struggle with their weight. We know that most of us, we diet hop from diet to diet to diet to diet, and we're always looking for the next thing. One of the biggest New Year's resolutions every year is to get healthy. And so what prompted you to make the decision of, I'm sick and tired of being over 200 pounds. I need to do something, like something's got to change. Like, what made this the time that you were going to prioritize your health? Like, what was the prompting for you?
So, I had been working out really like too much. It was like exhausting me, and I was working so hard. In 1 year, I'd only lost 12 pounds, and it was very frustrating to have put in that much work and not getting the results that I wanted. And so that was before January. And then in January, my husband of 20 years passed away, and we have 6 kids, and I'm a homeschool mom. And so just that moment of like, okay, now it is all me. And if I don't get healthy and stay healthy, then what's going to happen to my children? Like, I have to show up and I have to be the best that I can be for their sake. And also for me, because, as a mom of 6, like, I've just poured out and poured out and poured out, and just wasn't taking time to pour back into myself. And so I thought, you know what better time than what should be the worst time of my life? And make no mistake, like, it has not been easy by any means. But what better time to take control where I can take control, because lots of things felt like they were out of control. What better time to take control of what I can, of what I put in my mouth, what I think in my thoughts, what I let come out of my mouth, and the actions I take with my body.
That's incredible. Well, I can only imagine, because I've never been through what you've been through. But when you go from, it's the two of you parenting your boys, and you suddenly lose a husband, it makes you hyper aware that they have one parent left, right? And uh, we've had the conversations about you and your husband. Neither one of you were super healthy, and what would have happened if you guys would have been healthy. And so, what so all that happens, you're in the midst of, how did you even have enough wits about you though, to, because I can only imagine the grief, and you're trying to figure out, your husband was always the breadwinner and like the one working, and you were taking, I mean, you had a full-time job taking care of the house and the kids. So how did you even, like, you had so many things to worry about, you had so many things you had to figure out. What like, it amazes me that you were like, I need to get healthy in the midst of everything.
Really, like, so before my husband passed away, really, I was like, I worried about everything. And he would talk to me like, why do you worry so much? And I would say, well, why don't you worry more? Like, help me carry this, you know? But he really had that faith that things would always work out. And so, like, it was, I promise, like, it was the week, and not that I haven't struggled with worry since, but the week, like the day he was gone, it was like, well, I can't control that situation. Like, so is worrying going to help me at all? And just like to trust that, like, things were going to be okay. I really don't know, remember the original question. Like, I'm going back in my mind because it was like, so much was happening in my heart and my spirit that literally my brain wasn't working right. Like, I couldn't do math that week. I couldn't, I don't know. It was just hey, I've got to rescue myself from this situation in whatever way possible. Yeah, like, really just the mind space, just to think back to that. It was hard. It was like being dropped in a war zone, and how am I going to get through this?
Well, 100%, and so often as a mother, as a wife, we we get consumed with doing everything for everybody. And the truth is that we can never, if we don't do for ourselves first, we can't, if we don't show up for ourselves, we can't fully show up for anybody else. We are not the best mom, the best spouse, the best anything, if
Right.
we don't show up for ourselves first. And so uh and this is another thing that's crazy, right? So you're going through all these things, right? And then out of all the ways you could pick to lose weight, Katy, out of all the ways you could pick to lose weight, you're like, you know what? Nah, I ain't doing nothing simple. I'm going to do this 6 month, all in, accountability, like, get my butt kicked. Like, how did you narrow it down? Like, in the weight loss space, you have so many options. There's
Oh
so
yeah.
many options to lose weight. Like, how did you come around to, no, I'm going to do this
Well,
hyper accountability program?
right. So honestly, I have done all the things. I've done Atkins, South Beach, Weight Watchers, Trim Healthy Mama, blah, 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 blah. All of the things. And I would lose some, gain it back, and more. Like the same story, like everybody has, yo-yo dieting. And so I had seen, so I'm plugged in with the Destiny Global group, and seen several people that had good results and lasting results. So, April Brown, I saw Ken, I saw Mary Star Carter, Karen Beachy. Like, I saw their results and that it was sticking. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And really, that has been the biggest difference, is the accountability and the butt kicking. Because as a human, you can justify like, I am so good at this. I can justify anything. Oh, well, it's okay. You can have this because you had a bad. No, that's how I got fluffy. And that's how I stayed fluffy. And having you, like, no, you're done. You can't get away with this anymore. Awesome. And then having to check in with our group twice a day. Like, am I really going to let my team down? Am I going to be the one that says, no, it's okay if you, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want to be that. I want to be the best that I can be, so that they can, so that the people around me can. So yeah, it was time for the big guns, for sure.
Big guns. No, and like, it's so true, because we will quit on ourselves, right? Like, we'll quit on ourselves, we'll give up, we'll find reasons, or it's so much easier to focus on doing for others than it is for ourselves. But when you have that accountability and you can't, like, wiggle your way out of it, and someone's not going to let you get away with your excuses or your reasons, it's like, no. And I think that's part of the beauty of it is like, I've been there, done that, like, spent decades at morbidly obese. So all the things that, you think to do, like, I've been there, done that. Like, you can't BS a BSer. And so, and then like to the cast, like, you went through this with a bunch of other women. And how is that difference for you? Because so often we go through diets by ourselves. It's a private thing. We don't talk about our weight. We don't talk about how we're feeling. We don't talk about emotional eating or triggers or secret eating. Like, we lose weight by ourselves. So how is that for you, going from trying all the things by yourself to being with all these women doing this?
That has been such a big part of it, because I will get stuck up in my head and all the thoughts and justifications and whatever, but to be able to verbalize and like discuss that with the group, and also realize, hey, I'm not the only one struggling in this area. I'm not the only one that has hidden in the closet to eat, or shoved the candy in the bag of peas and put it at the back of the freezer so that the kids won't eat it so I can eat it later. Yeah, just having that feeling of, hey, I'm not the only one, and to be able to hash out the thoughts and the feelings that go along with overcoming such a big thing in life.
Was there any part of you, and I ask you this because I know a lot of people, was there any part of you, because your season's on YouTube, like, you weigh in on YouTube, we literally, we don't just change the way you're eating inside of the program and what you're doing, like, we tackle the stuff in here, like emotional eating, secret eating, the emotional triggers, habits, how we talk to ourselves, which is horrific sometimes. And so, like, what do you think was the biggest change or the biggest revelation that you had in those 3 months?
Mindset wise, one of the biggest things was that last thing you said, is how we talk to ourselves. Like, when I really started to analyze like the things I would say to myself and how I put myself down, and I started thinking, what if someone was saying this to my face? Like, how rude, how horrible. I wouldn't want to be around that person. And would I actually say those things to someone else? No. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, this is bad behavior. So why am I doing it to myself,
No, 100%, 100%. And like you said, you'd probably punch that person in the face. Like,
Yeah.
if someone talked to you the way we talk to ourselves, it'd be like, bam, lights out, like the inner hood would come out of us, and we'd be like, like, not happening. So what's been because you admitted we're similar in the fact that we've done all the diets, right? Like, we've tried all the things. And so I think it's important to point out, this isn't a fad diet. This isn't like a get skinny quick thing. Like, it's good old fashioned work. Like, you've got to put in the work. But let me ask you this, because what was different for you this time with this approach versus everything else you've tried in the past? What was the difference in everything you've done and then this?
I guess it's a couple of things. So, like, using the containers, the portion control, realizing, yes, I was eating way too much food and justifying it. But then realizing also it is plenty of food. Like, I'm not going to starve, because when I first got the containers, I thought, oh, that's so small. But then when I realized, like, the container for vegetables, I have to eat 4 of those a day, that's a lot of food. And replacing the volume of food with good things, so that I'm so full of good things that I don't have room for the junk. That was huge. And then how, we do have our planned cheat item as a reward every time we lose some weight. That was huge. And realizing, yeah, this is a lifelong thing. Like, I am changing for life. This is how I'm going to eat for life. And when I get to my goal, I'll, do the changes that we have to do to stay in our range. So, yeah, just, I guess, making that mental shift to, like, this is what I'm doing for life, because I don't want to, like, not going back to what I was. I know exactly how to do it and I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah, because I want different from the first half of life. I want different for the second half of life. And I have to be prepared to handle all the good that's coming by staying healthy and being accountable. So
That's amazing. Uh, what if, so your boys have obviously watched you do this, and did they know when you were applying what you were doing?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it came up in conversation. Mom's gonna do a weight loss thing because really, when I applied, it was just a okay. I'll just do the video, and I hope I get in. And then I did, and I was like, oh my god, I'm really gonna do this. I cannot believe it. So yeah, I don't know if they really understood, but then once I started doing it, there is no better accountability partner than a nosy little 10-year-old boy who will threaten to go into the group and tell Carmen the cheat I just had or the temptation or whatever. I was just like, get out of my Marco. But really, like so many times, they like pulled me from the edge, like, no, mom, that's not what you want. I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah, I love that. That a nosy little, I'm gonna tell your coach on you. So that's, but like it makes you stop and think, okay, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Or is this gonna get me closer to my goal? And I think we all like, cause yeah, I think that's amazing. And they only did it because they loved you and wanted you to succeed, right?
Right,
So
right.
what has been their response, Katy, seeing their mom shed 30 pounds in 3 months?
Well, my 8-year-old has been the most verbal and just so sweet. I mean, he will be very like detailed. Mom, I can get my arms further around you. You really used to be bigger. And now look at your stomach. It's so small. I'm like, you're my favorite today. So yeah, he's been the most verbal and I can just tell like it's been motivating to my other kids to stay active. Like, hey, mom's doing this, so I'm going to do it too. And my 10-year-old will come in and he'll work out with me and lift the weights and things. So yeah, it's been awesome to have them and to have them to do it for. I mean, I'm worth doing it for, but that extra motivation, like I want to teach them the habits that I didn't learn growing up. Of how you stay healthy, how you get healthy, how you stay healthy, and walk that way for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And how has life changed for you? I know you're not done yet, and we're going to talk about what's next, but how has life changed in just the last 3 months? Because, I mean, obviously, you've had the different habits, the mindsets, the way you talk to yourself, like you mentioned. I would imagine this brings a whole different dynamic with your kids. Like they're seeing mom do it, they're supporting you. So, how's life changed for you in the past 3 months?
Really, one of the biggest things I would say is in my confidence level. Not only because I feel better in my skin, I feel like I look better. I feel like I look more like what I want to look like. And like you said, I'm not done yet, but I'm closer. And but a lot of the confidence comes from the fact that I have overcome so many hard things. Like I've overcome all those excuses that I used to have as to why I was fluffy. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. No, like I I ditched the excuses, I put in the hard work, and I've proven to myself that I can be consistent day after day after day and drink all that water and do the hard things. And the confidence that comes from having done that it's just been amazing.
What were some of the reasons you told yourself? Because I know the reasons I told myself. What were some of yours?
Oh, it's my hormones. It's just my hormones. It's probably my thyroid, whatever. No, I'm eating a lot of Snickers. The Snickers are doing it. The plate of food like this is doing it. Like that's a lot of mashed potatoes and cheese. That's yeah, but it's a carb and blah, blah, blah. No, it's too much. It's too much food. And I don't need that much. And I would say, oh well, I work so hard because I was working out like an hour and a half a day, but I was exhausted. And so then I was so stressed, my body was holding on to weight, all those things. But
Yeah.
yeah, lots of good excuses.
Oh, they're always good, right? Like I think all of us are convinced at some point it's genetics, it's our
Right.
thyroid, it's hormones, it's
Hmm.
I'm just my people are big people. I'm big boned. All of those lies that we hear, not only we say them, but I mean, do people ever tell you that? Like you're just
Oh
big
yeah.
boned, you're not
Oh,
small.
it had to be my bones for sure. Because it was not all the chocolate I ate. It was not little Debbie. It wasn't that. It was my
No,
bones for sure.
your bones. It's funny though, because we really do start to believe those things sometimes.
Yep.
We that becomes our identity. and we believe it, and then we believe our excuses and our reasons. So it's that's crazy. So what is next? I know you're not done yet. So 1 year from today, if we showed up at your house, where's Katy gonna be? What's next for Katy?
What's today? It's September. So next for Katy is I will be in 1 year, I will have 30 less pounds on my frame. I will still be working out in the mornings, early, consistent, 6 days a week. I will still be drinking a gallon of water every day. I will be traveling to the mountains, wearing the cute skinny jeans with the cute little flannel, not the big poofy flannel to hide myself. I will be active with my boys, playing outside. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And my last question I want to ask you, and I think it's important because sometimes, I think all of us along our journey of fluffiness, along our journey of overweight, struggling with being overweight, struggling with the diets, we see success stories, we see interviews, we see before and afters, we see people that have lost weight. And it's so easy sometimes to dismiss it as they're special, they're different. That wouldn't work for me. It worked for her. That's great for her, but it wouldn't work for me. So what would you say to somebody who's where you were 3 months ago? What would you say to somebody who's struggling, who desperately wants to lose weight, who's tried all the diets, who's lost weight and gained it, who's literally been on the weight loss roller coaster, the weight loss hamster wheel? Like, what would you say to that person who says, Katy's great, she's special, it worked for her, I don't think it would work for me? Like, what would you say to that person?
I would say I had all the same exact excuses that you had. I literally had tried all the diets and lost a little, gained some more, lost a little, gained some more. You are worth the investment. You're worth the time to put into yourself to get as healthy as possible and to get what you want out of life. And I know you don't want to be fluffy. Like, you don't want to be fluffy. I know you probably justified, oh, it's, whatever, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. It's not your best. And you want your best. And if you were looking at someone else from the outside, would you want them to have the best that they can have? Absolutely. I would say if this program is available at that time, jump on it and do whatever it takes. Move things around, spend the money because you're worth it. Like, invest in yourself because you're worth it.
It's so true. And I love, like, we're the most important investment we'll ever make.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to say next year, next month, it's the first of the year, the middle of the year, when the kids are out of school, like there's always something else coming. And it really boils down to, no, just start now. Just start now. Like, it is the investment you make in yourself is invaluable. It's invaluable. And it's been, I'm telling you, what a blessing, Katy, for your boys to be able to watch the strength of their mother, and that in so many areas where you could have given up and given in and just settled for the status quo, you didn't, and you haven't, and you're not, and you are a fighter, and you are an overcomer. And it has just been such a blessing to be a part of your journey, to be able to watch, to celebrate with you, to cheer you on, and to crown you season 11 winner of the biggest transformation. And so you can find Katy if you want to follow her story, keep up with her journey. She is on Facebook under Katy Waldrop. And are you on Instagram, Katy?
Sort of. I'm not super active there yet, but I'm there.
Okay. So she's on Instagram and Facebook. You can find her there. You can drop an encouraging comment for her down in the comments below. But Katy, thank you for joining us today, for taking time out of your busy schedule, momming, working, all the things. And for those of you guys watching, thank you for being with us tonight. You can catch all of Katy's season over on the season 11 playlist. We will be back next week, same time, same place.
Bye.